bring ourselves to the mat for just a quick, just about a 10-minute practice today. So just come to whatever's your most comfortable sit, whether it's sitting up on blankets, whether it's cross-legged, whatever feels good in your body, and just bring your hands to your lap. We'll just drop into our practice briefly, just being aware of our breath. And just noticing how it's flowing through the body. Just take about 3 grounding breaths here. We'll inhale deeply in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And inhale through the nose. And last time, inhaling in through the nose. Big, long, slow exhale out the mouth. Perfect. Bring your head back up to center neutral. Let's drop the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And if you'd like, you can bring the left fingertips to the floor beside you. Or you can reach the hand back behind the back, reaching the fingertips over towards the right hip, whichever feels more comfortable. If neither one of those feel comfortable, bring the hand back to the left. Let's take another breath here. And bring the hand back down to the lap. Drop the chin down to the chest. And we're going to roll the left ear over to the left shoulder. And make sure that the shoulder isn't trying to reach up and meet you halfway. And then find the hand placement that's comfortable for you, whether it's fingertips touching the floor or hands coming behind the back, fingertips reaching towards the left hip, or the hand resting on the lap. Let's take a couple more breath cycles here. And then bring the hand back down to the lap, drop the chin down to the chest. One full breath cycle. And then the head back up to center neutral, roll out the shoulders. And just starting to loosen up the upper body here a little bit longer. Fantastic. We're going to make our way to a tabletop position. I'll put one of my blankets aside, and I like to keep one blanket underneath the knees. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll just start to move through a cat-cow. So inhale, lifting the chin, lifting the tailbone. And exhale, tucking the chin and tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine. So just moving through this pose, matching breath with movement. Inhale, lifting the chin and the tailbone. Exhale, tucking the chin and the tailbone. Going as fast or slow as you like. Hanging out in any part of the pose if it feels good. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. Very nice. Come into tabletop neutral. We're going to bend the right arm deeply, press the left hip out to the side, and just looking back towards our hip or our foot, just taking a very gentle twist here. Little stretch in the side body. Come back in through center. We'll bend the left arm now. Press the right hip out and looking back towards the left hip. And then come back in through center. Let's find some hip circles. They can be big circles or little circles, just sending the hips back towards the heels. And reverse the direction. Take it the other way. Coming back in through your tabletop position, make sure the big toes are touching and the knees go a little bit wider. Let's sink the hips back towards the heels. Walk the hands forward, let the forehead come all the way to the mat. Or if it doesn't come all the way to the mat comfortably, slide a blanket or a block underneath the forehead. And finding your version of child's pose. So just like every child is different, every child's pose is going to look different. So whether your knees are wider apart, whether the hips are coming to the heels, whether you're using a blanket between the thighs and the calves to help support you, you decide what feels best in your body. Maybe child's pose isn't even a pose for you. You prefer to take a seated pose for just the moment. And feeling the breath moving in through the back body. And one more breath here. And bring yourself back up into a child's pose, or a tabletop position, sorry. Move the block aside. We're going to move into a thread the needle pose. So I'm going to show you an alternative first. So you can come to a seated position. You can reach the right arm across the body. And with the left hand, you can place it between the elbows and the shoulders and squeeze it towards the body. This is one alternative for thread the needle. Or you can take thread the needle by placing the left hand a little bit closer to underneath the nose, reach the right arm up, and then slide it, thread it underneath the left hand, coming down to the floor, bringing the temple and the cheek down to the floor, and letting the body rest on the arm this way. You can extend the left leg or the left arm for extra support. You can even take the left hand back behind the back for a bind, but just find what feels most comfortable in you, in your body, with this gentle shoulder stretch. So however you're experiencing this pose in this moment, take 2 more full cycles of breath. And if you're on the floor, press the left hand into the floor, reach the right arm up towards the sky, and come back down to tabletop. Stretching out the other side. If you are taking your thread the needle seated, take the left arm across the body, squeeze the chest, the arm in towards the chest. If you're on the floor, reach the left arm up, threading it underneath the arm, lowering down to the temple and the cheek, and just finding the support that you need on this side. Two more cycles of breath and thread the needle. And then pushing the hand into the floor, reach the left arm up towards the sky, and then back down. If you're up seated, come back down to tabletop position. This is where I love to have the blocks handy. We're going to step the left foot forward, coming into a low lunge. And we can sink the torso down. So the right knee is slightly behind the right hip, and just letting the body melt down towards the floor. So hands can be on the blocks, they can be on the floor, they can be inside or outside the knee, whichever feels more comfortable to you. You can even explore bringing the hands up to the thigh, pushing yourself away from the knee a little bit more. Reach the right arm up, and then the left arm, if that's in your practice today, or using your hands wherever you feel most comfortable. One more breath. Hands can come back down to the floor. Let's send the knee back behind us and we'll step the other foot forward. So you can see I like to move my hands over to the side and step my foot forward then, making room for my body. It might be in your practice to step straight through and just let the torso sink down towards the floor. Find the hand placement that works in your body. One hand to the knee, maybe two. It's possible that they just stay here, or you can reach upward. Pull the shoulders away from the ear. You can even take your gaze upwards. 2 more breaths. And then hands come back down. We'll slide that foot back behind us. Tuck the toes. And with the next inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky, coming into your down dog. Feel free to bend one knee and then bend the other, walking your dog, just alternating back and forth. And then coming into stillness, lift the tailbone a little bit higher. Press the chest towards the thighs a little bit deeper. Ears coming down between the biceps. One more breath. And with the next inhale, shift forward into your high plank. Hands underneath the shoulders, pull the belly in. Knees can come to the floor if that's more accessible. And then hugging the elbows in towards the ribs, lower yourself down to the floor. Hands remained under the shoulders, elbows hugging the ribs. Next inhale, lifting into a baby cobra or a full cobra. Anything that feels good to you in this moment. One more breath here. And then exhale, release, let the forehead kiss the mat. And then press the hands in, push back up to tabletop. And then we're gonna bring our legs through and come back into a seated position. Any seat that's comfortable to you in this moment. We'll inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And on the exhale, bring the right hand to the left knee. The left hand comes back behind, moving into a twist. Looking out over the left shoulder. And with the next inhale, come back in through center, arms up overhead. Exhale, twist in the other direction. Breathe deep into the belly, one more breath. Inhale, arms come back up to center. And we'll exhale, left hand comes to the floor, right hand reaches over, side bend. Inhale, moving in through center. Right hand comes to the floor, the left hand reaches over. Inhale, back up to center, palms come together. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Bow the head, take about 3 full breath cycles here. Long spine, belly coming towards the spine. And thank you so much for joining me with this small little body awakening practice. Hope you have a great day.